Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then hi, my name's Caitlin, and today this has very quickly become one of my favourite projects. This is my Pan That palette update number 2. So we're panning the Sofx Revolution original palette. Before we get into it, I would like to say a few things. If it's a little bit echoey, I'm moving out of my apartment. If you've been here a long time, you'll know that this apartment has been absolute hell for me to live in. So we're moving out and a lot of my stuff is gone. I'm in an empty apartment. It might be a little bit echoey. I'm really sorry about that. And also subscribe because you're here, you might as well. And this is a very exciting update. I'm very excited. Okay, so this is the second update. But if you're a bit confused, I didn't do an intro, so this is the second active month, you know what I mean? So I'm going to show you what the palette looked like when we started this project. So this is what it looks like when we started the project. It was very well loved. We already had one pan, and that is kind of why we've made such amazing progress, I think. It wasn't a brand new palette, it was used and abused. And this is the second update. As you can see, we hit 4 new pans the second update, and we also depotted 2 shades. I made them into a Franken blush, which I absolutely love. And this is what the palette looks like today. Wow. We're going to talk about this shade in a bit. I'll explain. But yeah, this is what the palette looks like. We've hit 4 new pans, so we're on track. 4 seems to be a magic number for this project, but here we are. Wow. So let me point it out. I'll take my phone out of my pocket because I don't want it to drop on the floor. I'll put a side by side of last month and this month on the screen now. So as you can see, we have hit pan in Pink Champagne, we have hit pan in Cup of Tea, we have hit pan in Sparks Fly, and we have also hit pan on, is this Mug Cake as well. So there you go. I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm gonna go through one by one the shades, how many times that I use them, and maybe some looks that I'm doing with them. Then I'm gonna go through my goals, and yeah, it's gonna be so fun and exciting. Okay, so the first shade here is Penguin. Now I use this 15 times this month for a total of 29 times in total. I use a very fat brush for this. It's a face brush. It's all packed, so I would show you what brush I use, but it's in boxes, so I'm sorry, but I did show you last update. It's a face brush. I use it to highlight under my eyes, so even though I have used this a lot, there is not yet pan in it, but let me tell you, it is so close to hitting pan. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Every single time I use this, I know I'm gonna hit pan on it, yet I do not. So I do want to hit pan in this sometime soon, but anyway, moving on to Pancakes. This I actually only used 3 times this month, and that's because I hit pan in it last month, and I'll explain when we get to the shade. But yeah, I've only used it 3 times this month, but I've used it 18 times in total, including last month. So yeah, we've already got quite a good size pan in that. Fairy Lights we did have pan in last month. I used it 6 times this month for a total of 18 times, so the same as Pancakes. 18 times, we've got a pretty big pan. There you go, you can see it's quite hard to get on camera because the shade is so light, but we've got a pretty big pan in that. Next is Pink Champagne. I used this 16 times this month, which is mad, for a total of 22 times, and as you can see, we have hit pan. I used quite a dense brush to put this in the inner corners. I loved it in the inner corners. I didn't think I'd love it in the inner corners because I'm not a pink girl, but I don't know, it went with a lot more things than I thought originally. So yeah, we managed to hit pan on that. I'm very happy. So now we have iced coffee, and iced coffee I used the same as I used Pancakes, and that's why I haven't used Pancakes that much. I used iced coffee to set my lid. It was quite dark, but I did make sure to just blend it to make sure I didn't have this harsh dark line. We haven't hit pan yet, but I don't know if you can see how close we are. Maybe there, you can see the dent in this. It is massive. I really think that we can hit pan in this next month. That would be amazing if we could. Then we would have the whole top row panned. That would be incredible. But no, I'm really not worried about this because I use it all over the lid and I've got a pretty big dent in this. I'm not worried about that at all. Okay, last is cup of tea. We hit pan in this. We've got a pretty nice pan in this. I used this 13 times this month and let me just check. Yeah, that's 20 times in total. I love this shade. This shade can blend out so many of the other shades. I've used it as a last blending shade today. I really adore this shade. So yeah, we've got a nice big pan in that. So that's the first row done. The first row I'm really not worried about. I really think we can get this done pretty easily. The next row, however, worries me a little bit. So let's jump up here. This is the shade Grow Old. I've used this twice this month for a total of 2 times, so I didn't use it the first month. This is, okay, I said this in my last update, having 3 golds doesn't make sense to me. They're not similar, but they're not different enough to be in the palette, I don't think. This is more warm, this is more neutral, and then this is more cool. I've tried to pair this with like the oranges and the reds and it just kind of looks muddy and it doesn't look right. So I'm yet to find a use for this, but I'm sure once I found a use for it, it'll be fine. Moving on, this is Sparks Fly. As you can see, I have hit pan. I want to say it took me by surprise, but in a way it didn't. I used this 9 times this month for a total of 16 times, and that was pretty much from brand new, so that does give me hope for the rest of these kind of more soft shimmer shades, that they won't take too long to hit pan on, which I am pretty happy with, to be honest. Okay, Grow Old. I haven't used it this month and I didn't use it last month. It's still not being touched, but I'm not actually that worried about it because I know that if I do this cool tone crease that this will kind of pop in quite nicely, so I'm not too worried about that. It's just not really been the time of year to do this like really dark cool tone look. I don't know. Okay, next is the shade Mixed Berries. This is the shade that I'm most worried about. I don't like this shade. I'm gonna try and find a way to use it. It's like this warm toned purple. I've used this 0 times in the last month for a total of 3 times since the start of this project. I think I can get through it, but I'm just gonna have to push myself. Maybe in the summer when it's more like bright and warm, maybe, I don't know. Oh, help. Tiramisu, I've been using this as a bronzer, so I've used a hell of a lot of this. I used it 13 times this month as a bronzer for 16 times in total, and obviously as a bronzer you use quite a lot of the product, so this I'm actually starting to see like the rims. If you can see in this depotted shade, you can see there's like 4 lines. I'm actually starting to see that in this shade, which is really exciting. I'm very happy about that. Peaches I used 3 times this month for a total of 11 times. Again, even though I haven't used it much, I'm really not that worried about it because I know it blends out Danger beautifully. So I'm really not worried about that at all. Okay, these 2 are from my Franken blush, which I explained in last update, so we're just gonna skip over them. Pumpkin is actually what I'm wearing in my crease today. I wanted to try and start these 3 warm shades because I had not touched them last update, so I just wanted to get some use out of it. Pumpkin I've used 4 times for a total of 4 times in this whole project, but now I've found a look that I like with it. I'm not worried about this at all. I'll just keep doing this look probably. It's quite neutral, it's quite wearable for uni. I'm fine with that, not a problem. Pine Tree. I used this 2 times this month for a total of 3 times in total. Again, even though I haven't reached for it too much, I'm not worried about it because I know that if I put these cool tones in the crease and then Pine Tree on the lid, it looks beautiful. And we've got a little bit of a dent in it, so I'm really not that worried at all. That's fine. Okay, the offender of this month. So, Petrol, the shade Petrol. If you know me, you would have thought that this shade would have been my baby because I adore blue. I adore blue eyeshadow. I love it so much. It's my happy color. I always say that, blue is my happy color. However, this shade was just bad. If the shade was like challenging for me, I would not have depotted it because this shade is going to be very challenging for me to pan. It wasn't that it was challenging, it was just, it looked awful and I hated how it looked. Every single time I put it on my lid. I used it as a nail varnish once. It just looked like graphite. It looked like it looked like I coloured in my nail with a pencil. It looked horrendous every single time, and I refused to hate pan anything. I'm not hate panning anything, so I just destroyed it. I just got rid of it. I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm not hate panning. I'm really not. Like I said, if it was just a challenging shade, I wouldn't have been bothered. It was just, it looked horrendous every time I used it, so I'm not doing that. Okay, next. So this is the shade Pug, and one of my goals last month was to expand the pan in this, and I think I did that quite well. I only use this 3 times for 7 times in total, but when I do use this, I use a lot of it, and I did say that in my last update. I use so much of this when I use it because I love blending out, I love smoking everything out with it, so that's nice. Danger. So Danger I used 5 times this month for a total of 7 times in total. We are so close to hitting pan in this. I don't know how I can show you. Maybe there. We are so close. Next month, this is going to be hit pan on 1,000,000%. Okay, next row. So again, Franken blush. Festive Flame, I used this once this month for a total of 2 times. Again, I'm not worried about it. I know it goes beautifully with these 3 shades. I'm just not focused on that look right now. I'm focused on other shadows. Copper Coin, I used this 3 times this month for a total of 3 times. I'm using this on my lid today. It's not pow, you know, it's quite subtle, which I don't really like, but I could hit pan in this pretty easily. This is the same formula as these 2 up here. These kind of middle ones are a lot more soft. I don't really know how to describe it. These are like really hard, so they're not really as impactful, but they're still nice for an everyday look, not really for, you know, anything else. Mug Cake, as you can see, I hit pan on this month. I used it 9 times this month, and let me check. Oh yeah, I used this 16 times in total, so this was pretty much brand new. The shade was pretty much brand new when I first started using it, but I really focused in on it. And again, I did use quite a lot of it when I did use it. I packed it in my like direct crease, my inner corner, and my lower lash line, and I really made sure to get that pigment on there. So yeah, I did use that a lot. This guy, this is so close to hitting pan as well. This is this guy's cool toned brother. This is Rosewood. I used this 8 times this month for a total of 12 times in total. So yeah, this is 12 times, this is 16 times. So if the numbers are right, then I'm gonna be hitting pan in this very, very soon. So yeah, you can see hopefully that it's got a massive dent in it. I'm really happy with it. And finally, Nightmare. I used this 17 times this month for a total of 29 times. Now I use this most of the time just as a liner, so I don't use that much of it. But as you can see, we still hit pan on it last month, and yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. Okay, so that is like the rundown. I'm determined not to depan any more of these. All of the shades in here are going to be staying in here. It was just that these 2 would be better off used as a blush, and this shade was horrendous to work with. So I think I've worked out this palette now, and I think, yeah, I'm going to be trying to pan all these shades, which I'm so excited. Okay, next month's goals. I almost said next week's goals. That's not going to happen. So Rosewood, I want to hit pan on. It is so close to being hit pan on. It's ridiculous. Danger, we are almost at Danger as well. Hopefully you can see that, the massive dent in Danger. This had a pretty big dent in it when we started this project. I just really haven't reached for the shade much, but that's not an issue. Iced Coffee, if I continue using this as a setting shade, I'm pretty sure we can hit pan in this as well, and maybe even Penguin. I'm not sure with this one. This is a bit of a mystery because I can't actually tell how far this has gone in because I use such a huge brush with it. Maybe? I don't know. And I want to use these kind of reddy tones here a lot more because I don't really use them much. As I said, I've found a way to use them. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get some good progress. So there we go, guys. That was my update for my Pan That palette. I hope you enjoyed it. I really love this project. I was kind of dreading doing it because I have makeup commitment issues, but I've fallen in love with this palette again and I'm just really happy. So if you did like this video, please like and subscribe. If you're doing a Project Pan or a Pan That palette or a Pan Those eyeshadows or whatever, let me know because I'm addicted to them. I love binge watching them so much. And I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.